And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Defenders of the Realm is a great game. You should expect to see many more expansions for the game. But this is the first one, and it's the Dragon expansion. Why they spend this big time putting a troll on the front when, as far as I can tell, he's not in the box anywhere, is beyond me. Dragons are definitely in this game. Clarifications to the original game are in this game. Lots of different variants to use. I mean, if this was the only expansion to come out, you would have plenty to play Defenders of the Realm for a long time. What comes in this box of goodies that makes a goodie game even goodier? Let's look. So let's talk about some of the stuff that comes in this expansion. You got 12 new quest cards that you can use whether or not you have the Dragon expansion or not. Great. We need more quests, so this is a gimme. Please, we're just going to play with this automatically in every game. Hurrah! Then, of course, there's the big thing of the game, and that's these dragons here. Oh, ho, ho, ho. There's only 3 dragons. That's because the original game came with the blue dragon already. These dragons look much superior, though. You can see they have some paint on. They just look good. Of course, they have a hard time, some of them, standing up. But then again, the game comes with bases that you can glue them on if you want to. I'm pretty happy with the way that they are. Each of these characters, each of these dragons comes, and they're much more powerful. They come with their own card, and I think playing with these dragons is much more difficult than playing with the characters from the original game. But hey, go for it, because then if you beat them, it's that much more exciting. And there's different dragons that can be included for different style games, and yay for them. Also, one of the things that I liked about this game is it provides some alternate minions that you can use. Rather than, the regular minions, for example, let's focus up here. Rather than using the orcs, you can say the green people are imps. Rather than saying the red ones are demons, you can say they're fire elementals. Instead of undead, zealots. Instead of dragonkin, dragon masters. And each of those has their own special ability. You can mix or match these, or use just the new ones. And I like that quite a bit. Again, if you're using the dragons, it's kind of thematic to have fire. Now fire, some of the dragons will set things on fire. The fire elementals will help spread fire. And fire tokens spread, and if there's too much fire on the board, you can get in trouble. Of course, you can spend your time putting out the fire, but again, that just wastes time pulling from the game. The game comes with a whole deck of cards, and these cards are changed mostly because they add the new characters on instead of having the old enemies, you have the new ones moving, Brimstone, Onyx, the different dragons. But there's also some global effect cards that are added, which are neat, and you can add them or subtract them to make the game better or more difficult. And the Darkness Spread cards, there's another whole deck of them added, so you can mix or match at your leisure. Then there's a couple other things. You can get Royal Blessings. After you complete a quest, you can get a Royal Blessing if you've done it successfully. And you get points for the different things that you do as the game progresses. Almost like experience points, so that you can get something good that you can take into, like for example, the Folk Hero here. The Folk Hero may flip 1 extra card and ends when taking rumors at the end action. And you can use that in a later game. Now I don't know how many times I'm going to play multiple games in a row, but hey, it's there. And I'm going to use it. So all in all, the game comes with a big box to put all these different tokens in, the King's Blessings, the new quests, the new dragons, and everything. How much of this will I use in my games? Well, I'll mix and match it. For newcomers, I still think I'll use the 4 different generals from the original one, unless I know that person's a big fan of dragons. Then obviously we're going to use the 4 different dragons. But the dragons are much harder, and adding the fire and all those other things. But now you can customize the deck to make it a little easier, add some more global effects, maybe a little bit less Darkness Spreads cards. And also, I do enjoy the fact that the rule booklet comes with some variants. The Royal Blessings is one that I would like to use. The King's Champions, keeping track of how many points that you've scored over the course of a game. And then there's even some scenarios that you can play depending on which dragons you want to use. And then some basic rule clarifications for the original game in case you had some, and you probably did. And then, yeah, there's that story, which really, I'm no writer myself, I suppose, but this is not good writing. They could have saved themselves money on the rule book. But for the most part, It's a good expansion, adds some neat stuff, nothing breathtakingly new to the game, just more variety, and that's pretty much all the game initially needed. So if you are a fan of the original game, you'll like this. It's more of the same.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.